Well, welcome back to another absolutely action-packed day here in Helsingborg, Sweden for the IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships. We've got the 74 kilo men, and we haven't even started yet and things are heating up.
It's a showdown between Kjell from Norway and Taylor Atwood. Kjell had won the 2017 matchup in mixed Belarus. They went head to head, and Kjell took the title.
That he
Taylor
did.
Taylor wanted revenge, and he wanted the title. 2018 in Calgary, signed up, no Kjell. Taylor took the title, as well as the world record. 2019, they both are saying there can be no excuses. Two undefeated world champions meeting head to head, and there can only be one.
Well, they're both on the platform today. There's already been a bit of social media back and forth between the two of them. You know, lots of jokes between the two of them. Of course, off the platform, you know, friendly as great mates. On the
Yep.
platform, though, friendships go out the door,
it's
and
a
one of them wants to go away with the title.
It's a sporting rivalry. If there's any trash talk, it's always within sport, but it's there. You could tell it's a competitive rivalry. Neither one of them wants to lose. Neither one of them wants to back down. They both have their supporters. Unfortunately, at the IPF Worlds, we give only one gold medal at the end of the day. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, look, and you know they might be battling at the top, but there's a few guys in this field that might just sneak in behind there, and these guys are going to have to be on their game, watching their backs as well, because it's
Absolutely.
not just going to be between these two.
No.
If they want the goal, they're really going to have to fight for it, because there's a couple other guys in this field. You know, Singapore could sneak in there as well. There's a couple of really strong lifters in this field that are just likely to put the screws on a little bit and make it a little bit harder.
We've seen that time and again. You push each other, miss a couple lifts, someone else sneaks past you.
We're about 1 second away, and here we go. We're starting off the day with Jing Hong Feng, Chinese Taipei, 170 on the bar. So we'll be running two groups in this one. We'll run through the first group and then straight into the second group. So he's got himself probably a fairly conservative opening lift there at 170. Not taking any chances for the first lift of the day. You certainly don't want to be that first lifter on the platform and opening too heavy. It's probably one of the toughest lifts of the day, I think, that first person off the rank, first session of the morning.
Yeah, I was about to say, and you got to get up early. If you had to cut any weight, you got up really early. It's a long day.
So looking for 170 to get the ball rolling. A little bit of first lift nerves on that one, but gets it on the board, and that'll make him feel a lot better now.
And this is a pretty big class here. We don't have names against it, but I'm pretty sure this will be cut up into two flights.
2 groups.
So there'll be a bit of a wait in between for the lifters, a little bit of an extra break in terms of recuperating.
Tamir Vickers from India now. Looking for 180. Just a little bit below his best lift. Really taking his time, getting himself comfortable under that bar.
Yeah, one of the benefits of two flights for individuals like Beckland, who's around 5 feet tall, but cuts to make 75 or 74 kilo. So these are very thick, densely muscled gentlemen, and they cut a lot of weight to make it. So when you see them walking around, like, wow, you look a lot bigger than 74 kilo, because they are. So because they're in the second flight, the ability to rehydrate by the time they hit the platform is a lot longer, and it helps.
Yi Heng Wu, Chinese Taipei, 185. Well under his personal best of 220.
Nicely done.
Yeah, he should get that one on the board, and he does.
Clear indication sometimes as well how much weight somebody might have cut. If you see striations in the legs and thighs and they look like they're stage ready for a
bodybuilding show. You can see they're
show.
starting to dehydrate.
Yeah.
Martin Reedy from Ireland, 192 and a half. And I think so far Ireland has had a pretty successful competition.
Yeah, Ireland's been very well represented in pretty much every single weight class, every session we've had.
Yeah, they've taken home quite a few medals as well, which is nice. It's a rapidly growing sport in Ireland. And the head coach, Jay Ferrant, one of the men behind that growth.
Once Ireland gets one world champion with a little bit of charisma behind him, it just
look out.
Makes you gravitate. Yeah, the youth look up to him
Yeah.
like, hey, powerlifting, let me give that a go.
Gets that one on the board.
We've seen how like a Brett Gibbs can turn New Zealand all of a sudden into a powerlifting nation.
Yeah, look,
people hear about it.
Once you've got those people up the top, people start paying attention. It gets the youth involved, and the sport starts to grow. Shiva Chorale from Lebanon.
At 30 years old, already a 12-year veteran of competing.
Now, if I remember rightly, I believe Shiva is an uplift athlete. I'll have to check my data on that, but I'm pretty sure he's an uplift athlete, one of our great sponsors.
One of yours, or?
Not one of mine,
okay.
no. I'd hope I'd remember it was one of mine.
Fair enough. And while we're in the openers, and I think that looks good, by the way, how about a quick conversation about Uplift in terms of the services and what they offer?
It's a fantastic idea. Basically, they bring quality coaches with good qualifications together with athletes from around the world. So you can get on the Uplift app, you can download the Uplift app, Android, iPhone, whatever, and you can search for a coach, get in touch with them. You know they're a quality coach. Have a chat with them, see if they're right for you, and there's lots of coaches on there as well.
Oh, wow.
So it doesn't matter where you are in the world.
And you pick the coach yourself.
Absolutely, yep, you get to choose.
And you were actually telling me, and you're a long-time powerlifter, have handled and coached at the national level, international level, and a doctor, no less. So obviously probably overqualified, and yet being vetted to become an Uplift coach, you thought was a little nerve-wracking. They were so thorough.
It certainly was. Jorge Perez from Spain, 210.
Which gives you confidence in terms of the vetting of the process. Nice, snappy lock.
Yeah, that was a really nice lift, that one. Yeah, I think that's one of the greatest things about Uplift. When you get on Uplift and search for a coach, you know you're searching through really good coaches. Yeah, you read their profiles, learn a little bit about them, get in touch with a couple, and get the right one for you.
I like that because you can develop. He's got all the smarts in the world, great resume. You like to see if you can work well together.
Yeah, you've got to have a relationship, you've got to have a rapport. Alex Ochoa from Ecuador.
Ecuador as well seems to be having quite a few lifters in these worlds.
Yeah, the team is growing bigger and bigger.
Well, it moved well. It was
It was a little bit of work, but it was smooth all the way through, but yeah, not deep enough there.
It was, strength is an issue. It's got to dip that a little lower. Let's take a look from the side angle.
Yeah, it just didn't really sit back there.
Yeah, that was high for sure.
Yeah, just needs to sit back a little bit, and that'll drop in just fine.
Like you had said, first squat of the day, and sometimes you're going to cut it a little short, bit of nerves going. Got to trust the process.
Chris Wong, Great Britain.
Recognize Chris from the previous worlds.
Yeah, getting a little bit of experience under his belt now. Looking for 230.
He's definitely a very competent lifter, one of those lifters. You got to keep your eye on him because he's capable of putting up a big total. That's a nice opener.
And handles that opener very, very well.
You know, it's funny, back in the warm-up room, you get a sense when there's a showdown and it's a sporting rivalry, the tension in the room is different. Everybody's aware, you know, and the camps.
Look, it's not just in the warm-up room. The whole stadium
Yeah.
starts to get that aura about it, that feeling about it.
Yeah.
You know something's coming.
It's one of the more heavily hyped showdowns of our IPF World Championships, and that's saying something because we've got some big showdowns. The fact that both gentlemen were vocal leading up only helps add fuel to the fire.
Well, there's going to be plenty of fuel on it today. Bain Langley, Canada, 235. There's a solid opening. Lift that one.
Yep. On the board.
Jing, Feng, 177.5.
It's well below his personal best. And it moves smooth, but it did appear for some reason his right leg doesn't quite track out like his left.
Yeah, let's see if we can pick it up on the replay. Yeah, he didn't get he got 2 red lights on that. Yeah, you can see his right leg there. He's cutting it really short.
It's weird. Yeah, I don't know if he's really tight on that side. It's gonna be hard to hit depth if you're that tight. One side he hits, one side he doesn't. And then you're leaving it up to the middle judge to have to call your depth from the front and split the middle. It's
yeah, it's a tough call.
Yeah, he should loosen up a little bit if possible. Even loading the weight when it's off kilter, unsymmetrical like that, it's gonna be very difficult when you get the max load. You could probably dip that a little lower and be okay. But squats is gonna be tough for him.
Yiheng Wu, Chinese Taipei.
So we're already in the second round. So
moving very fast. And tell you what, Chinese Taipei, I mean, they put on a great performance yesterday. They've actually had a really, really solid performance here. Oh, not deep enough on that one, though.
We've had 3 misses in a row. Depth, not strength, so a lot easier to correct.
Everything's come down to depth.
But the gentlemen have to sink it a little low. What I've noticed, 74 kilo, you see some bigger cuts because these are the gentlemen walking around close to the average size male walking. You start lifting weights and you gain a little muscle mass, obviously, but the temptation is there to cut down to 74. And it can be a drag. I know some of these gentlemen have pretty big relative cuts to other weight classes, so.
Yeah, it certainly drains the energy, drains the strength. Vikas from India, 195.
It's a variable also if you're traveling. It's a lot harder to cut water.
So we opened at 180. This will be a personal best at 195. That's a pretty big leap.
Yep, 15 kilo. It's not small.
But he handles it quite well.
You know what I like? Even though he's shaking a little, and clearly the engine is revving, he never gets pulled out of pocket himself. The bar path is up and down.
No, stays with it the whole way through. Chest is up all the way.
Elbows stay down.
Never really gets out of position there. Might be a bit shaky, but I think that's just the way he lifts.
That's right. Yeah, the nervous system turns on. That's okay.
So Martin Reedy from Ireland looking for 200. This will give him a personal best as well.
Yeah, and 7.5 kilo, it's appropriate. When you get into the bigger weights, you're going to see guys like Atwood and Chell taking big jumps, but relatively speaking to the weight they're lifting.
Yeah, as the weight classes come up, we'll see those jumps increase a little bit.
believe, if I'm not mistaken, the head coach of Ireland even pulled double duty and helped us out in the booth in the Masters.
Yeah, he certainly did. He popped over and sat in the commentary box.
Well appreciated.
He is always around helping everyone, helping other people.
Like to see a little give back. Oh, depth is good.
Yeah, look, he handled it well. The bar tried to push him forward, managed to correct it quite well.
He's got a strong
You
core.
probably see on the replay, you might be able to see his hips pop up a little bit. And
Yeah,
just a little bit. He fixed it very, very quickly.
And much appreciated when someone jumps in. It's the Masters, sub-juniors. We have no problem finding people raising their hand to do commentary in the open. No problem. Get in line for that. But always love it when somebody's like, hey, for the better of the game, if you guys need help, I don't care, put me in, slot me in.
And Shiva Chorale, Lebanon, 210. And in the break, I'll check my data and I'll actually see who's coaching Shiva. Because I'm pretty sure.
You recognize him?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's an it's a uplift. He's an uplift athlete.
I'm getting nodded from the camera crew that it is.
Oh, he's putting in the fight. He's got you to see the head nodding. Love the head nod. And he gets it on the board.
He was head nodding while under a lot of duress, though. It was like a strong bluff or...
The head nod. No, the head nod was a giveaway. He's like, yeah, this one's coming up. Hold my beer.
You don't want to fail after head nodding because he head nodded and then the knees wobbled and like, oh, young man, pay attention.
He did put on the nod a little early.
Yeah, it was a little early.
Jorge Perez from Spain wants 222.5.
But I do like a good show. Listen, we got 2 flights, but both flights will put on a good show. As long as you scrap it out for your attempts, it really doesn't matter if you're middle of the pack, top of the pack, bottom of the pack. It's always entertaining. "28 years old, 10 years in the game. Cordoba is a veteran." Nice and deep, no question about that.
He really sinks it in, doesn't he? He snaps that lockout really well.
Now, the Lebanese coaching staff, or Uplift coaching staff, rather, decided, look, that was a hell of a fight, and it was. No need to come out for a third, expend, and probably fail, because I don't think you could put another kilo on the bar there. I think that's an appropriate call.
There's not a whole lot of room there. Now, the red light that the previous lifter just received, that was actually for his grip on the bar.
Oh, okay.
Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 225.
So we both thought just drop it a little deeper. Now, here's something we usually don't like. Gary, 220 he missed on depth.
Putting that extra on. It's always a risk.
225 for here. So you missed the first one on depth, not strength. But what if you miss the next one on strength? Now you're back to the corner.
There's nowhere to go after that.
All's well that ends well, and let's hope it ends well for this young man. Depth is there this time. Okay.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. I mean, he's got a bit of experience under about 10-year veteran. He was in Hampstead last year, picked up a sixth place there. So, he's not new to the game.
Yep.
Chris Wong, Great Britain. Looking for 240. This will equal his personal best.
10-kilo jump. And those are the type of jumps that, I personally like a lower opener and make a decent jump afterwards, conserving my energy, and I don't want to work too much too early. I have so much energy to expend. That looks really good. For
it's very smooth for a second lift.
Yeah, matching his personal best. Wow, squatting training must have gone well.
There's another 7.5, 10 kilos in there.
Yeah.
Bain Langley from Canada, 245.
Now, a little bit of scouting on Ben. I know who's coaching him. the strength guys they coach, actually Taylor Atwood, who's the comeback champion here. And apparently, even though because his nomination was lower, so he's in flight A, he could do some work and surprise some people. As they're seeing, 245 is the biggest second round bench so far, or squat so far.
Well, let's see how it moves. Depth looks good from here.
It's work.
There's a bit of work there. There's not a huge amount left in there. I think 5 to 7.5 probably going to stretch him. Jing, Hong, Feng, Chinese Taipei will be the next one to the platform at 177.5.
It is rare, but you do see some lifters from the first flight snag individual medals, etc.
Yeah, it certainly happens.
Yep.
And right now, this man missed this 177.5 on his second. So now looking to put this on the board. I think he'll have no problems on this one.
And you couldn't tell by looking at him, but he is 41 years old, a master lifter, and lifting in the open. I respect that.
That looks a lot better. Depth
It
looks
does.
good. A little bit of lateral movement on the way up, but he corrected it.
Yeah, I was going to say, and again, it looks like there's sometimes some lifters, one side, one hip is a little tight, and it can shift you around, as we're
Yeah,
seeing.
it can shove you around a little bit. He'll start to loosen up as the day goes on.
One way or another.
Hang Woo. 190.
So
He missed this one on his second as well.
30 kilo below his personal best?
He's got a personal best of 220.
Sometimes I'm not sure about some of the profiles.
Depth looks good.
Oh, wow,
Lift looks
okay.
clean.
That looked very smooth and easy.
And that one goes on the board. Vikas from India now. 202.5. This will be a pretty decent personal best for him.
7.5 kilo jump. Now the second one was work, but he never got pulled out of bar path.
Yeah, I think. I think his lifts look like work, but I think that's just the way his nervous system fires.
Yeah.
I don't think 7.5 is a stretch.
No, I think it's an appropriate jump.
It's going to be some work, and it's going to be a bit of a grind.
As long as he can keep himself upright, elbows down, chest up, and the bar path is linear up down, he should be able to fight through it if the fight comes. 7.5 kilo, I'm going to agree, looks like a manageable increase.
Yeah, and I imagine one of his goals for this competition is a personal best on total, and this will certainly put him in the right direction.
You always want to see progress. You hate to stand still and certainly not fall back in terms of your numbers. Look how upright he stays. Fighting!
He put the fight in a little bit, but he just knew it wasn't going to go.
Wait his weight.
He was almost there. Yeah, no, he was very close to hitting that one.
And you see once the elbows start shooting back on you, the chest comes forward, and sometimes I'll keep my elbows down, but the weight and the gravity is going to force you.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Martin Reedy, 205. The Irish have arrived.
They certainly have, and they let themselves be known. Some of the other weight classes, you get even just a few Irishmen and Irish ladies in the crowd, and they can be the most vocal of the bunch. 3 can sound like 20 at times.
Yeah, they're a great team of lifters, great team of coaches.
And they actually make a lot of friends here. All the Brazilians were also cheering for them.
Everyone loves the Irish.
This gentleman is extremely strong throughout the torso. Look at that. You see him fighting.
What a fight.
Yeah.
Great fight. That should be 3 whites. It is. And big smiles from the coach there. Jorge Perez now, Spain, looking for a 230. And this should be within reach for him.
Yeah, he's hit 235 previously, 7.5 kilo jump, but every day is a new challenge. We've seen that. Spain isn't the longest of trips. Certainly not crossing any oceans or whatnot to get here. A little friendlier on the time zones, but it is travel. So whatever you hit back home, can't expect it all the time to hit it when you travel internationally. And dealing with the pressure.
Yeah, it's always, I mean, travel of any type always adds to it.
Nice tight grip to his shoulders. Keep the lats engaged.
And just not happening on that one. He gave it everything, but it just wasn't going to happen.
Thanks to spotters and loaders, and these gentlemen are so quick to get in there, and you see the size of them. Like at the small end, 95 kilo gentlemen, these guys are huge.
They're not small guys.
Nope.
And they're doing a great job. Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 235.
Fun fact, the spotting loading crew is from Czechia, and the IPF brings them to the Europeans, the Worlds, brings them all over because they spot and load so quickly, so quick on the catches. They found the team they want, and it's the high-level team, and they're going to maintain the line in the standard. I like that. Don't get chintzy on safety. That looks good. Can he fight through it, though?
He is going to fight through it.
Types are strong.
He does.
Chest up, elbows down, knees over the feet. You got to like that, Gary.
Look, you have a look at the replay here. He gets the 3 white lights. You have a look at the replay. You know, one of the things I like about some of these guys is chest up. Really important. Lift your head up a little. Look to where you want to go. You want to look up, the bar's going to go up. And his head stays up, and he fights through it and keeps the chest up.
And see those elbows coming underneath the barbell to help that chest stay up. The elbows shoot back. It's a lot easier for the chest to shoot forward.
Chris Wong, Great Britain, 245. Nice step. He's having a fight for it. That'll give him a good little personal best to take home with him.
Yeah, and you know what? I think the attempt selection on the last two lifts, bang on the money. 2.5 kilo jump's the smallest increment you could take. 2.5 kilo might have been a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think he's been bang on the money on that one. Bain Langley now, 250.
We thought 245 was work. 5 kilo jump, obviously relative. It's not a massive jump, but this is going to be right on that line.
Yeah, it's going to be a 50-50.
Yep.
He's going to have to put in the work for it. He's going to have the fight.
But if you want to cover ground, sometimes you got to take those 50-50 propositions. He's hit it before, so obviously not out of reach if you've hit something before. It's just a matter, can he hit it again today? Very tight core. Depth looks good.
And just pushed him forward a little bit, and there was no real coming back from it. But he put in the effort.
Yep.
So we move straight into our second round now. And we start with Alexander Eriksson from Sweden, 225.
Now, Alexander Eriksson, one of Sweden's favorite sons, he won the juniors equipped. He won the juniors classic. He was actually voted by the fans on Instagram junior lifter of the year in 2017. Here he is in the open, looking to cover a little ground. Very young for the open, so growing into it.
Yeah, 25 years of age.
It's his second year in the open. And look, there's some lions with like Chael Backlund and Taylor Atwood.
Yeah, the open's in every weight class. It's tough to get to the top.
Amen.
And you've got to put in your time, pay your dues.
That was very easy. Very smooth.
Yeah, not quite deep enough though.
Stitch
He's
high.
got to get deeper.
Stitch high, but the way it moves so well, you should have no worries in terms of sinking that.
Yeah, pulling up just a fraction shy.
It definitely was high.
Sergey Negara from Russia, 230.
Again, 41 years old, competing in the Open, and he's 21 years in the game.
Yeah, lots and lots of experience, and coaching staff handling him today, lots and lots of experience as well.
Actually, have 2 Russians and almost 20 years age in between them. Nice spread. Nice depth. And that's how you want your opener
great
to
squat.
look.
Very nice squat there.
3 weights. Plenty of room to grow.
He actually picked up a bronze medal in the European Classic Powerlifting Championships
In the Open?
Yeah, in the Opens.
Wowzer. See? Strength just accumulates.
That's it.
Last
Chris
thing we
Kennedy, New Zealand, 230.
27 years old, powerlifting 2 years. And New Zealand has some pretty good lifters. We've seen, obviously there's Brett Gibbs in the Open, but we saw Masters and Juniors winning world titles.
Yep, they got some very, very strong lifters coming out of New Zealand.
Depth looks good.
Yeah, I just thought he shifted to the left laterally a little bit at the bottom there. I mean, he corrected quite quickly. You probably won't see it on the replay from that angle, but just see his hips move a little bit laterally. I wonder if we'll be able to pick it up or not. Probably not. It wasn't an issue for him, but he's going to have to keep an eye on that. Leonardo Sasitra from Australia. $237.5. Big Ray in the corner yelling out instructions to him.
24 years old, been competing since he's 20, 250 kilo personal best. I like his mouthpiece.
And I like his style.
Yeah, he's got a really good squat.
Very smooth. Head up, chest up. We catch it on the replay.
And
head comes up, chest is up. Very nicely done.
And here comes 2017 world champion.
Yeah,
wants his title back.
Back to the platform.
And his list of accomplishments, what do you want? World title, European title, world record. He's gone up to the 83 kilo class and broken world records.
Yeah, he's got a pretty long resume.
And as thick and solid as they come.
And he's had to put in some work for that one.
A little bit of work. Yep. A little bit of work.
Let's have a look at the replay.
It was no replay, but yeah, it was a little surprising.
Yeah, it's a little more work than I was expecting for his first lift.
Like I said, even though he's not the tallest guy, you know, but he's very, very thick and solid. He has to cut to make 74. He's broken world records at 83. Sometimes you get stronger as the day goes, and he might be no different.
Constantine Dunham from Russia now, 240. 23 years of age. He won the Russian Championships this year, the gold medal in the Opens in February.
Depth looks good. Very solid. Very solid opener.
Competes equipped and raw. Picked up a bronze medal in the equipped this year in the Russian Championships and a gold medal in the Classic.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Backlund also competed in the European equipped not very long ago. By not very long ago, I think maybe just a few weeks, which is very close turnaround. Especially equipped, the type of weight you move when lifting equipped. That's a little shocking.
Yeah, in April, actually.
Picked
up a gold medal as well.
Gold, which is great, but it's a pretty big turnaround when the weights you shift while under in equipment.
Quentin Lee Singapore.
Now, the scouting says this is another one of the young men you got to watch. Look how nice that squat
Yeah,
was.
I'd certainly be keeping an eye on him.
He can definitely be a problem. Cannot be overlooked.
Madi Christensen from Denmark, 242.5.
Denmark, a friendly travel. We're on the southern part of Sweden, and some parts of Denmark actually closer than some parts of Sweden, where we're located.
And nice and smooth all the way through.
Yep.
No problems with that one at all. Gives himself some room to move. There's a little bit of discussion with the coach on the side there, just deciding what they want to put on. Yakov from Kazakhstan, 250.
Yakov is another one of these men that, when speaking about who to look out for, Yakov's name comes up.
Yeah,
He's
strong lifters out of Kazakhstan.
He's going to keep a tight game.
And I think they'll be having, their first international in Kazakhstan in December this year.
Which championship would that be?
It'll be under the Asian Federation,
Gotcha.
I believe. Don't quote me on that.
Well, we're on the air, sir, so.
And he's strong.
His work too,
It was
though,
a bit
right?
of work, but he's got plenty of strength there.
And again, some of these fellas, when it comes to these weight classes, and you've cut water, you actually get a little stronger the more and more you rehydrate. So the next time you see somebody, they get better and better.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes in the next couple of lifts. Taylor Atwood, 262.5.
Now, Taylor Atwood, he's done things like just not cut water, been a little overweight, smash numbers so big, he could have rivaled the 83 kilo class like Russell Orhe. One of these phenomenal athletes a lot of people are excited about. But the competition has never been greater than it is today. Defending world champion, Taylor Atwood.
Well, this first lift is going to tell us a lot about the rest of the day for him.
Yeah, every day does bring a new challenge. I know I say that before, but it's the truth. Travel, weight cut, there's so many variables that go into this. Your previous accomplishments do not matter when you hit that platform. Gravity is not impressed. And you'll see the Atwood smile at the lockout if it felt good.
Very smooth, looked pretty good.
All business.
Gets it on the board.
Well, we've seen it. What do you think?
That looked pretty nice. Oh, he was pretty smooth through. Didn't seem to have any problems with it at all. He looks fresh.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like, didn't look like it felt heavy. I mean, sometimes it'll move fast, but it feels heavy. You get a bit of an indication by the look on their face, but yeah, he certainly didn't seem concerned at all. Alexander Eriksson from Sweden with the Swedish crowd behind him, 222.5.
I'm expecting him to shift this pretty well. The speed on this opener was very good. It was just a stitch high. And even though he's a young man, 25, he's been competing almost a decade, so he knows where depth is. He'll correct it.
Yeah, I don't think it should be an issue for him. He's got plenty of good people in his corner. Oscar Bjorn there, standing over there watching on.
There it is.
And that looks a lot better.
A lot better. And see how smooth his squat technique
And it is.
Yep. On the board now. Now, the type of jump he should take,
Yeah,
he's a step behind.
I'd still only put a 10 kilo tops on there. I mean, I think it's just too big a risk to go. I'd still be going for my plan second.
I think 10 kilo is appropriate. The way that moves so smooth, never pulled out of position at all.
Sergey Negara from Russia, 237.5.
Russia's got 2 lifters in flight 2. That means they're both likely going to finish in top end here. It's a lot of good team points for Russia.
Now he puts in a fight for that one. And there's still a little bit left in the tank too.
Yep. Conservative jump likely, but...
Yeah, I'd imagine probably another 5 kilos.
Yeah. 2.5 in a squat, when you're at this kind of weight, is pretty much the same. I don't know, eventually there's 2.5 too much, but now we had thought Chel's opener was difficult, more difficult than we would have
Yeah, look, he's
expected.
looking at 245 now. It's a pretty decent jump. His opener, I was expecting it to move a lot quicker.
Yeah. However, maybe a couple small adjustments. This will give us a good indication on where he's at for the day, because him at his best, potential world champion.
Deep. This too deep. He dropped it in a little bit too far there, I think. Just dropped in a little bit too far.
Very, very. Did he bomb it in like that on his opener?
Yeah, I don't recall his opener hitting that hard, but
Because that was very fast, deep,
yeah, it'll be
almost
interesting to see
uncontrolled.
where he goes now. I mean, I mentioned he'll take the 247 again, but
Sets him
he's
back.
got to correct that a little bit. Leonardo Sakitra from Australia, 247.5.
$10-kilo jump, 2.5 kilo below his personal best.
Yeah, he should manage this really well. His opener was great. Got great style. And a little bit slower than his first, but it was never in doubt.
Yeah, never had the form break
Yeah,
down.
I thought
on
we'd
him.
probably throw another 5 to 7.5 on there, I think. Constantine Dunham from Russia now, 250.
10-kilo jump.
$250 kilograms.
At 23, I think Russia in this class has a junior lifter and a master lifter. You don't see that often.
It's not a
good
normal.
Good spread. Covering their bases.
Yes, they're still in the last year of his junior career.
It's also good mentorship for the young man to have a Grizzly veteran beside him. Oh, nice fight.
And puts in the fight, gets it to the top.
Very well done. Stays in the
I
pocket.
mean, that was a 10. I think that was a 10-kilo personal best. I think for him. I think his best
Yeah.
is a 240.
Well done.
Chris Kennedy, New Zealand, 250.
Now, talking about decent jumps, 20 kilo, Gary,
That is a very, very decent jump.
and 10 kilo passes personal best. We're in
That's a-
uncharted territory.
That's a big call.
I hope he's been hitting these type of numbers in the gym. However, what happened in the gym, it's not under scrutiny of international
Yeah.
judges.
Instagram doesn't stand up here.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a big jump though, 20 kilos.
High risk, high reward, looking to cover some ground. This is how you surprise people if they're looking at your openers. All of a sudden you jump 20 kilo.
Depth is good. Well, I think he surprised quite a few people. We'll see what the referees say on the board.
I dare say he doesn't have another 20
Don't-
kilo jump though.
Don't look at people's opens to see where they're going.
Exactly.
Madi Christensen, Denmark, 252.5. So just below his personal best. And gets it up with a little bit of work.
Yeah, that was fairly smooth despite the work.
Yeah, about what you'd expect for a second lift.
Yeah. Definitely appropriate.
Quentin Lee, 255. Right on his personal best.
Lee, one of the gentlemen everybody's looking at to possibly emerge and break away from the pack. Great opportunity.
His opening lift certainly put him on track. Let's see how his second looks.
12 and a half more kilo from there. Can definitely keep him on pace for a podium threat.
Big brace, big brace.
And it's a little bit of work. You can see the head come up there and made all the difference.
3 bites.
Yakov from Kazakhstan, 255.
$260 is his previous best. 5 kilo underneath that. This should definitely be an indicator where he's at today. How much of a struggle will it be?
Yeah, he certainly has the potential to put some pressure on. And it just looked a little bit too heavy. I mean, he had his chest up all the way down. Let's have a look at the replay.
Once he hit the hole, he was
And it just looked like it was too heavy for him.
And sometimes that's it. You go back, ask the coach, what adjustments can I make? And grab.
Sometimes there's just not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, can you get stronger?
Well, Taylor Atwood isn't mucking around because he's going to throw in a world record for his second.
Well, someone who does not lack in strength in any department.
276 and a half.
A world record on your second attempt. It's big. It's
He
really
is
going to set the
sending
tone.
a message.
Chase me. Catch me if you can.
Come and get me. You want the gold? Come and get it. Because here's 276 and a half, and the way he's 262 and a half moved, I can't imagine this being a major problem for him.
Now, when you're as strong as Taylor Atwood, you don't have a lot of problems when it comes to the lifts.
He will surpass 280 today. 276 and a half.
Defending world champion Taylor Atwood about to make history in his second attempt. We are into the 600-pound range for a 74-kilo lifter in the second attempts. Major league power.
Walkout looks good.
Depth is there. There it is. Wow.
Man, shouldn't be any problems. Referees say it's a good lift.
Yeah.
Gets it on the board and sends a very, very big message. And he's still got a lift to come.
So what do you, I would agree around 280 range.
Yeah, I think 280.
No need to even go too much more. He's clearly in the lead, and everyone trying to catch up is running the risk. Sometimes you let him pull ahead and pick up kilos in the next event.
Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Alexander Eriksson from Sweden, 235.
That's the 10-kilo jump we both thought was appropriate.
Yeah, and I think it was the right way to go.
He has hit 245. He should have this in the tank. From Sweden, the travel should be the biggest of issues. Historically speaking, this should be doable.
He's got plenty of support in the crowd.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, very nicely done.
He's happy with that. He gets it on the board. Sergey Negara from Russia, 242.5.
Grizzled veteran looking for a personal best.
Certainly not a bad way to finish your squat session. 3 from 3 and a personal best. So let's see if he can get on the board. It's going to be a fight though.
Yeah.
His second was a fight.
5 kilo.
But Sergey has the fight in him. He is a real, and he's got plenty of experience and he knows how to grind.
Yeah, he's a competitor, and even though his second attempt was work, no major breakdowns in terms of technical.
You don't often see Russian athletes break down in form, and there's a perfect example right there.
Yeah, no difference there.
Gets it on the board, no breakdown in form, did everything he was supposed to do. Well, here we go. 245 on the bar.
Look, Becklin knew he was going to get out squatted by Atwood. It's the deadlift that's his biggest weapon, but he doesn't want to get out squatted this much. He needs this 245.
I mean, that's the thing. You don't want to let him pull away that far that even your dead's not going to pull you back.
It's another 7.5 kilos he could strip off his deadlift if he needs to pull for the win, should he hit this. Depth is there, much better, much better.
And just couldn't quite get the chest up enough there. So he's going to have a lot of work to do now.
You know, that wasn't part of the script to move forward just your opener.
Yeah, I don't think that was in his plan. Leonardo Susitra from Australia, 252.5.
Two and a half kilo personal best, 5 kilo jump, all seems appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, his first and his second moved very, very well. He has great technique. He's doing all the right things. He's only been in opens for a year. He's only got 4 years competing.
Nice
and
fight.
he's got a fight in him as well.
Wow.
You know, if you look at his numbers and his age and his years competing, if he sticks in this game for another few years, he's going to find himself up in those top 5, then the top 3. And, you know, before you know it, he's going to be chasing gold medals. The key is with powerlifting, and this is what you often explain to young lifters, is it's a long game. You know, you can't expect to be winning world championships at your first event. It takes time. You've got to keep going. Constantine Dunham from Russia, 252.5. Had to put in some work on his second, so 2.5 kilo jump, I think, is spot on the money.
You know what you said there, Gary, I remember talking to an IPF champion, and they said, no one ever accused me of being a genetic freak until after 10 years of training.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. It's true. People don't realize how long
time
worked in your craft.
Yeah, he had a big PB on his second lift, and just a little bit too much. He already hit a 10 kilo PB on his second, the 252.5. Just too much to break the bank on that one.
We thought his second lift was tough, difficult, and was work. Now, Yakov, I'm glad he's retaking this weight. Another one of the medal favorites. If he doesnn't get this, he's only moved forward with his opener. We're already seeing a shake-up.
All of a sudden, you know, you've got a few other people in the background there thinking, you know what? I've got a little bit of opportunity here.
That's 2 of the top 3.
Yeah, you got Lee from Singapore sitting there just behind. The 255 for Yakov.
Oh.
And just a little bit too much. He put in a big fight, but in the end, he just couldn't break it through.
Now, how much is that also emptying the tank? He's at 2 big
a lot of
scratches.
energy used, and he's opened a, you know, just a little bit of a pathway for some of the other guys to maybe sneak through. Madi Christensen from Denmark, 257.5. So we'll give him a couple of kilos on his personal best as well.
Only 24, but in powerlifting, since he's 15, almost a decade behind him at 24 years old. So many these guys very young, but already veterans of the game.
And he's happy with that one. You can see the head nod and the big smile.
As he should be. That was nice.
That was a good lift, that one.
To go 3 for 3 and hit a personal best, that's probably where you wanted to be coming into this.
Chris Kennedy, New Zealand, 257.5. Well, I said Atwood would surpass 280, and he has. He's put 283 on. He wants to send a solid message to the rest of the world.
Yeah, the worst thing you give a contender is hope. He wants to dash their hopes by making the lead just too great.
Chris Kennedy, 257.5. Plenty of support in the crowd.
Uh-oh.
And just a little bit too much there.
And we're seeing some failures in the third because when the competition's this great, you
Well,
get
everyone
pushed to the
starts
limit.
pushing, and right now, Quentin Lee, 262.5. Now, for him to get this extra few kilos on the board, can really start putting some pressure on that bronze medal position.
Yeah, the Singapore team is looking at this like, look, didn't expect Buckland to start missing. Didn't the same from Kazakhstan. Yakov started missing. Doors are swinging open. Time to seize that opportunity, young man.
Yeah, I mean, he equaled his personal best on his second, so this is a big, big call.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What a fight.
Yep.
He put in a very, very big fight, and the referees say no lift.
Now, if you had one white, you could go to the jury, but you
3
need
reds,
one
there
white.
is no appeal. So, Taylor Atwood, 283, not just a world record, a message.
That's right. A warning shot, if you will.
This is a warning shot across the bow.
It's across the bow, grazing your leg.
It's like, don't waste your time chasing me. It's not going to happen.
Whistling just in your ear, it's so close. $283 kilograms at 73.75 kilo body weight. Taylor looks angry as he approaches the bar.
The 276 moved well.
Definitely.
As he got 283.
He's already rewritten history. Whew, I got a little bit of nerves myself. Walks it out nicely.
Yeah, nothing changed in his walkout, so that's a good sign.
Big brace. Depth is good. Wow.
And gets that one to the top very easily.
That might have moved better in a second. Whoa.
And it goes on the board for a massive world record.
On fire is Taylor Atwood. And there's the Taylor smile. Hair is also on point, by the way. Wowzers.
It's a massive world record.
And he is amped up. The crowd is amped up.
You can feel it, the vibe in the air.
Yikes.
Come here to send a message.
Whew.
You know, we talk about things that can happen, how powerlifting unfolds. I mean, Taylor Atwood, absolutely outstanding. But Chell, one opening lift, that's it.
You know what? The high we just ended on, he's so amped up, and the crowd is with him. The energy, you could almost feel it. It's tangible.
Yeah, it's done. It's becoming infectious now. It's going to get exciting. I mean, the door is open for some of those medal positions now.
Wide open.
Everything is starting to change. Get back here, 9 minutes, 20 seconds, and we're going to hit the bench press, and it's going to just continue to get more and more exciting.
Can't miss this action.
Well, welcome back to the action here, and we've seen it all unfold. Taylor Atwood, outstanding performance
Phenomenal.
on the squats, has pretty much stood up there and said, you know what, if you want this gold medal, you are going to have to come and get it. And he has set the benchmark so high. Chell, one opening left, and that is going to set his campaign right back.
Here's the thing about Chael Becklin. Taylor has the squat. We knew that. The Norwegians knew that. Nobody in the 74 kilo class is going to out squat Taylor. However, nobody in the 74 kilo class is going to outpull Chael. As well, Chael's moved up to 83 kilo class, a weight class up, and broke the world record, and nobody was outpulling him there. We all have our weapons coming into the battle, and we all have our moments. That was Taylor's. Becklin's is still to come.
Well, Atwood's played a really smart game here. He's trying to put as much distance as he can between them before they get to the deadlift. Having plenty of room there. He's got some breathing space. Really, I mean, he just has to do his job on the bench. This is where it comes in. We talk about the bench all the time, getting a couple of kilos here, getting a couple of... Atwood's focus now is just getting his job done. Not going crazy, not going over the top. Do your job, get 3 on the board, and open that gap a little bit further.
He really is going to build his foundation in the subtotal. He's one of the best benchers of the field, maybe not the best, but definitely the best squatter. So a subtotal, he wants to build that to push Chael to the point where he can't load the bar for the win. This is where it's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's it. You've got to do your job. He's got to get 3 on the board here. He can't afford to drop the ball now. He can't afford to relax. Well, we're 8 seconds away from getting this underway with Yi Han Wu from Chinese Taipei looking for 105. Well under his personal best of 140. It'll be interesting to see how this moves. And it looks like a nice warm-up lift. Gets that one on the board. So Vickers from India now, 122.5.
And the bench is such a technical lift. So there's 3 commands, all the different touch points you need. There's so many ways of losing a bench. You want to open light and not risk.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it comes down to. It's super important. You've just got to get them on the board here. Yeah, and we've seen too many times people trying to make up ground on the bench, and you only end up with your opener, or you end up bombing out because you're trying to make up ground. This is where you just want to put a few kilos on. And it moves nice and smooth all the way through. It's 1 red light there from the center referee. So we go to 122.5 now. Martin Reedy from Ireland. Taking his time there. A little bit unstable. Straightens it back up.
Nice recovery.
And that should be a solid lift there. It just got a little bit off balance as he took the bar there, but corrected quite quickly. Jorge Perez, 127.5. From Spain. And quick instructions of how he wants to lift off. Big breath in, sinks it into his chest. And he gets the white lights.
So far, all the bench is moving like you want an opening.
Yeah, good, some good choice on opening lift there.
Attempt selection, for the most part, has been good thus far. Oddly enough, maybe the skew in attempt selection might have been Backlund, who, to chase Taylor, might have opened a little too high.
Yeah, sometimes you get caught up in that chase, and you do things that you wouldn't normally do.
You got to play your game.
Shiva Chorale from Lebanon now. Looking for 135.
The lift athlete. On the board.
And gets that one on the board very easily. Chris Wong now from Great Britain. He'd like 135 as well. Well under his personal best of 142.5. And that's a good opener.
Yeah, and Chris had a really good squat session. Gaining some ground here.
Alex Ochoa from Ecuador. Looking for 140. It's right up on those shoulders. There's the set. Nice light touch.
Yeah, nicely done.
And you can see at the top there, you might see in the replay, it's all a good lift, everything was fine, but you can see the top. He just starts to get a bit off balance as he gets to the top of the bar there.
Oh, yeah.
And that close foot position that we see quite often makes it a little bit hard to maintain stability when those weights start to get heavier. Takes a lot of practice to get that exactly right with that closed foot position. If you can get it right, works great. But if you get it wrong, it can be an absolute disaster.
Sometimes, I mean, you could hug the bench with your thighs, but again, if the weight's teetering on you, you're right. It's
a bit of a payoff, that one.
There's give and take, right? With all technical ways of approaching it.
Bain Langley from Canada, 145.
He's hit 157.5.
And a good opening lift. Jing Feng, Chinese Taipei, 172.5. So 172.5. He's hit a 190 before.
Yeah, he's well below his previous personal best, although that's how it was in the squats as well. So the previous personal bests on the profile aren't always the indicator what you got today, because, yeah, that's work.
That is a lot of work for an opening lift, and I think we've seen some foot movement and some bar dipping.
I don't even think he locked it out. So 190 in his profile is out the window.
Yeah, so that's a no lift. It's a tough way to open, and there's no going back from there.
He's indicating he had a trouble getting his footing, but that looks like more than just a footing issue to me. Oh, he's moving his feet.
In.
That's not quite your foot slipping so much as you're struggling under the weight, young man.
His foot certainly slipped, but more than after his knee started to drop. So, it's a tough one. I mean, you can't go back from there.
You got, we said it before, I'll say it again, you got to open light with a weight that you're going to smash, and you could smash any day of the week under any conditions.
Well, Yi Heng Wu from Chinese Taipei now 110.
There you go. That young man could have hit that with his feet up. That's what I want to see. You're at the IPF World Championships. Don't take risks with your opener.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you're right. You're at the IPF World Championships. This is not the place to take risks on opening lifts. So Martin Reedy from Ireland now 127.5. That looks solid.
3 white lights.
Yeah, that was a good lift.
And we were told, by the way, the viewing on this showdown of the 74 kilo is very high, one of the biggest we've had.
It's a tough competition. It's going to get tougher.
The ratings are through the roof, and already the fireworks, they're delivering.
Vikas from India, 130. Yeah, a little bit of work, but that's where you'd expect a second lift to be.
And 7.5 kilo jump here. Jorge Perez.
$135 for Jorge Perez.
Nicely done.
So Shiva Chorale from Lebanon. Now, just the guys from Athlete just sent me some info. He's an Athlete sponsored athlete. He's been training with Athlete since day one. And he's got quite some form on it. He got a first place in the Ray Williams Classic last year and got a third place in the squat challenge at the Arnold's, squatting double his body weight for more than 20 times.
Oh, wow. That sounds grueling.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to squat any weight for 20 times.
Double body weight at that. Yikes. That's like a goal for a single
And
for some
here
people.
he is at the World Championship. So, a great advertisement for athleteers. Oh, that was a bit tough, that one. And unfortunately, 3 red lights. I reckon he'll fix that on his third, though. He'll be fine. Chris Wong, Great Britain, 145.
10-kilo jump. That's a decent jump for the bench press.
That is a big jump on bench.
Also a personal best for him, so.
It's always a big move, making a big jump like that, especially when it goes beyond your personal best.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see how it shakes up for him. Piece together a nice squat event. Ooh, I think he's got it, but it definitely took a lot out of him. I don't see any room to grow.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of room to move there, is there?
2.5 kilo is going to be a big ask even, but hey, he just went up 10 kilo already.
Well, you never know. Alex Ochoa, 147.5. Yeah, I mean, you never know. He went up to 10 kilos, a big jump. The shock to the system slows it right down. If he takes a 2.5 kilo jump on the next one, or even a 5, it might be quite smooth now.
Yeah.
So 147.5 to equal his personal best.
Nicely done. That actually equaled his personal best. The way he moved it, he's going to break that in his third.
Yeah, I think it's going to roll pretty well. And he looks quite fresh, which is good. Bain Langley from Canada, 150.
5 kilo jump and 7.5 kilo below his personal best. So this should move well.
The military man from Canada.
"26 years old.
Yep, still got plenty of growth in his lifts to come. In powerlifting terms, 26 is still very young.
Oh, you're a baby at 26. Strength just accumulates right into your 40s.
And he puts that one on the board. Jing Feng from Chinese Taipei, 172.5. Yeah, this opening lift, it just looked out of reach for him. Not entirely sure.
You know, he pointed to his feet moving, but they didn't look like they slipped. Looked like he was moving them around under struggle and duress. He needs to get as tight as possible, get all of the levers in alignment, and that bar path better be right on point. Any deviation, and he's not
Let's
recovering.
have a look at his setup.
And quite honestly, even then it might be too much. Let's see, I hope I'm wrong. His heels aren't even fully down.
Yeah, he's getting a replacement call for his feet not being flat.
You need your head on the bench, butt on the bench, shoulders on the bench, feet totally flat, elbows locked out.
And he is struggling to get his feet in position.
He's running out of time. There we go. His elbows are they locked? Oh.
And it just looks too heavy. Just can't, he's not getting himself into position very well at all.
No, and that's definitely not, he's pointing towards the ground.
Yeah.
But sir, that's, if that's gravity on the ground you're pointing towards.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot else he can do. It's going to be tough. Wei Hang Wu, 115. So this is his third lift.
5 kilo jump. Took a 5 kilo jump.
He's got a personal best of 140.
I'm not sure I believe that, sir.
Well, you know what? He's 105, 110. Everything moved pretty well. I'm wondering if there's, you know, something he's carried into it. Yeah, he's holding his shoulder a little bit there. I'm thinking he might have a little bit of twinge on the shoulder there, and he's just making sure he doesn't create another injury and opening quite light.
Fair play.
Martin Reedy from Ireland at 130. So This will be a nice little personal best to take home. A couple of kilos. He's got a good setup there. Feet a little bit wider for some stability. It's a big breath in. And drives it back.
It's work, but he hits it.
And it goes on the board. He got one red light there. Might be able to pick it up in the replay. Yeah, actually, I think on the right-hand side there, the other on the other side, his butt might have just started to lift a little bit, and that would be the red card. Vikas from India, looking for 135. This will equal his personal best. And just a little bit too heavy there.
Yeah,
Just decided it wasn't going to move any further.
A little down up on that. It wasn't going to pass once the down up happened. So
Yeah,
no
once
sense.
that bar starts to dip, you can see even off the
There.
chest, he was just a little uncomfortable. Jorge Perez, 140 for Spain. ...140 kilograms, just shy of his personal best of 145.
Nice press.
Yeah, handled that well.
Three white lights. And 3 for 3 in the bench press.
Shiva Chorale from Lebanon, 140. Uplift sponsored athlete. And very strong. Obviously loves his squats.
Well, you might not love him anymore
more
after
than
that
most,
experience.
more than most of us. So he's got a personal best of 145. He missed this on his second, and he just really needs to put it all together. You can see he's actually up higher on his shoulders this time. His chest is up better. Looks in a better position now. And just a little bit too heavy for him there. So he'll have to settle for 135 today. Chris Wong, Great Britain, 147.5.
Jumping 2.5 kilo, and we thought 145 was probably the top end. This 2.5 kilo jump is going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, it'd be
for him to
interesting
hit.
because he took that big 10 kilo jump, and it really did shock the nervous system. And it was a bit slow and it was a bit of work. Let's see if that's woken him up a little bit. It might have just woken up the nervous system a little. And yeah, that 145 was a real stretch for him.
It was still a personal best, though.
Absolutely. So Alex Ochoa now, 152.5. This is a big personal best. This will be a nice personal best. Big breath in. Nice light touch. Oh, nicely done.
There's a stutter in the middle, but he gets it out.
He drives it through, though.
Yep. 5 more kilo for his total.
Bain Langley from Canada, 152.5. Still under his personal best of 157.5, so should be manageable. And it is very manageable.
2.5 more kilo for him. 3 for 3 in the bench.
And it's a nice way to finish his bench session. And Jing Feng now, Chinese Taipei, 172.5. Honestly, as a coach, I don't have a solution for him here.
No, he backed himself in the corner. The solution would have been get stronger, and that's just not going to happen in the next minute in between. So he's facing elimination, and it's attempt selection that's got him in this position.
It looks like he's changed his shoes, which probably would have been one of my suggestions.
Let's see. Nobody wants to see anyone
I think
bomb.
he was wearing trainers before, and now he's got his squat shoes on.
The crowd is behind him.
He's certainly able to get his feet flatter quicker with those ones. His setup was 10 times as fast.
Oh!
What do you know? A change of shoes.
Is it the shoes?
And he gets his foot position where he wants it.
3 white lights.
You know what?
Talk
you
about
could
dramatic.
See, you could see the difference in his setup there. Before, he was struggling around with his feet, trying to put them where he wanted them.
Yeah.
Changes to his squat shoes, sets up in 10 seconds flat,
I
and nails it.
I bench in my squat shoes all the time. Why do you come out in your squat
I
shoes?
wish you had to change them earlier.
Yeah. Well, it was dramatic, and we all know his name now.
It's a great way to come back in powerlifting, isn't it?
Good way to get noticed.
Leonardo Sasitra from Australia, 145. So we're into our second group now. So just shy of his personal best of 150. Nice and smooth. And gets it on the board. Great way to start.
Yeah, that's what you want to see.
Sergey Negara from Russia now, 155.
'21-year veteran. You know he knows how to pick his openers and his shoes.
Well, you know, the right shoes can add quite a few kilos to your lift. I've heard different coloured shoes can add 10 kilos.
Better believe it. Different color socks, too.
Yep, you've lived it. You've researched it.
It's science.
And then you've demonstrated it.
That's science.
That's science. Solid and smooth all the way through.
3 white lights.
Quentin Lee Singapore, 157.5. And he wants to really have a solid performance in bench. His goal should be 3 from 3 here.
Yeah, if he hangs tight and continues to go 3 for 3 in these events, pulling for a podium is definitely a proposition.
Nothing silly, nothing over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the 3 from 3.
He's not chasing. I think Becklin might have been chasing, which got him off his game plan.
Man, that was a great opener.
You don't want to chase Taylor Atwood when it comes to subtotal.
Yeah, look, and it's interesting. I mean, I talk to athletes all the time, and my biggest advice at a world champion event is stick to your plan. Don't get caught up in chasing someone. Don't play those games. Just stick to your plan. And then when you get to the deadlift, get your opener on the board and have a look.
Yeah, I know there's trash talk coming in this, and sometimes that gets you like, I can't let him win this by too much. Or
Chris Kennedy, New Zealand, 157.5.
2.5 kilo below his personal best, but competing 2 years, so the gains are still coming quick.
Man, that was a solid opener. No problems with that one at all. Russia, Constantine Dunham, 160. The personal best of 167.5.
Wow, pretty nice.
Yeah, it was a good opener, that one right there.
Both the Russians bang on with the opening selection. And Team Russia, they obviously been around. They're not making too many mistakes when it comes to picking openers and attempts.
They're usually pretty much on fire.
Sweden's own, Alexander Eriksson, missed his opener in squat, came back, hit it, covered a little ground. Hopefully things are a little different this time.
Yeah, I mean, 167.5, it's well under his personal best of 177.5.
Yeah,
Must have
maybe
put a
some
good opener on here.
hit this, make some 5 kilo jumps. He's right into his personal best territory. I know I've been following him on Instagram, and his training's been going very well. So he should be able to actually beat his previous personal bests.
We're getting a replacement call. Okay, so his finger was not covering that 81 centimeter marking ring.
And he does have a little time, and I know you like when they start up early to
I
give
like to have a
themselves
bit of time.
He afforded himself that. He's got 20 seconds, which is plenty of time to get the call.
Sometimes things go wrong and you get a replacement call. You've got to have enough time.
That's the opener he needed.
That was a good opener.
That's the opener he needed.
And it was an opener he can hit any day of the week even when something goes wrong.
Yeah, and that's exactly why. Exactly. Nicely done.
Yakov from Kazakhstan, 170.
Oh, arms are shaking a little bit.
Yeah, there was a bit of shaking and shifting in there. Let's have a look at the replay. Gets it on the board. Didn't seem to move too slowly though. I mean, I think he might have just got his bar path a little out of line. Now, what sort of work can we do on the bench here?
He's hit 187.5. 170 should move well, and it could put him back on track. He missed 2 lifts, expended a lot in missing 2 lifts. He doesn't want to get too tired and expend too much before the deads come, because that is his biggest weapon.
So Buckland for 170. Now, he needs to be following his plan here as well.
I think he's back
Great
on
opener.
track. Yeah.
Nice and smooth. You're not going to catch Atwood here.
Not in subtotal.
But you can put a few kilos on. That means you have to pull a few kilos less.
And that's exactly it. It's almost looking at it at how many kilos can I strip off my final deadlift.
So that's what he needs to do here.
Don't focus on Atwood.
Well, Taylor Atwood, 182 and a half.
Yeah, speaking of, right, perfect segue. He's hit 193 previously. He's a monster bencher, monster squatter, fair deadlifter. He'll hold serve and maintain his lead in the deadlift. But this is really where he's going to eat food.
$182 and a half. Well under his personal best.
That's his dad on the sidelines, always with him at every world championship. Does not matter where they are. They are very tight.
Good opener.
Yeah, that's right on the money.
Good opening lift.
And you see the intensity? You know, managing how much you expend. He expended a lot in the squats, but, you know, no need to get amped up for every single lift.
He just casually walks out for his opener. Doesn't want to use too much energy now. So Madi Christensen now from Denmark, 187 and a half.
And when you're opening higher than Atwood, and it's a subtotal, that's a big feat in and of itself, a bit of a moral victory. He's hit 195.5 previously, obviously a record of some sort. I know that's the exact same as the junior world record, and he's only 24.
Yeah,
Could
so
that be his?
Would have been a junior record. Madi Christensen from Denmark. Yes, that is his.
There we go.
So no stranger.
Sticky on the lock.
Yeah, it's a little bit sticky on that one side there. Didn't move completely evenly. Leonardo Sasitra from Australia, 152 and a half. This will be a 2.5 kilo personal best. He's a solid young lifter, 24 years of age. And with his technique on squats and his style of lifting, if he sticks to this sport and sticks to the game, sticks to the training with a good coach, you will see him battling it out for a gold medal in a few years' time.
See those thighs hugging that bench for stability.
He's going to have to be very careful with his foot position, though.
Yeah, the heels. Oh.
If they touch the bench.
Yeah.
And just couldn't get that one moving fast enough off the chest. You know, I think he'll put that in again, and I think he'll get that without any problems. Sergey Negara from Russia, 162 and a half. The 162.5, just under his best lift of 165. He's had to work.
Brakes came on quick. He has hit this weight before.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I thought it was going to move a little bit better than that. Have a look at the replay.
Yeah, he's
got a lot of movement in the body there that he doesn't usually have.
Maybe getting a little tighter could help.
Yeah, his body doesn't usually move that much, so there's a lot of energy being wasted. Right now, Quentin Lee from Singapore, 165.
5 more kilo to his total.
And he is just doing his job. I'm going to come here, I'm going to do my job, and I'm just going to see what unfolds.
Regardless how it shakes up for Quentin Lee, he's definitely put the world on notice. In the 74 kilo class, he's a contender.
Yeah, and only 26 years of age too.
26 for this sport is a baby. Slow at lockout though. He gets it.
Wow, he had to grind that one. There's not really any. The 2.5 kilos is the minimum jump. You might try going to the table to negotiate for a 1 kilo.
It's a big ask.
Chris Kennedy from New Zealand, 165.
Nicely done.
So it gets it back to the top, what the referees say. Gets one red light there.
5 kilo personal best and 7.5 kilo towards his total.
Constantine Dunham, 167.5. Right on his personal best. Did he have a little bit of a jump on the command there?
Well,
and gets the 2 whites. That's a good lift.
If it was a jump or a little bit of a heave off the chest for momentum, either way, 2 to 1.
That's it.
He gets it, yeah.
And precisely white, we have 3 referees.
Sweden's own, and you hear the crowd.
172.5. Alexander Eriksson.
So far, bench is going better in squats, likely on pace. He's hit 177.5 previously. If he moves this well, he could go for a personal best. If not, maybe just hang and double that, matching his previous personal best. 5 kilo jump. The way 167.5 moved, I'm expecting this to be work, but move well.
Yeah, I'd certainly like to see him put 3 from 3 on the board. Oh, it's tough. It's tough, but he gets it to the top, and he gets it on the board.
And
that was a lot of work, though.
I would dare say he's not matching or exceeding his personal best. It's surprising when a man of his age isn't posting up personal bests. His training went very well, and we're within Sweden, so travel wasn't a big issue, but you never know what he's dealing with.
Yakov from Kazakhstan, 175. Right on his personal best. He is hanging in a good position. But I just love that Lee is just sort of sitting in the wings, doing his thing. Dunham sitting right in there as well, going, you know what, we're just going to do our job. And we'll see what happens. Ooh.
And
that's
so
where it starts to cost now.
That happened in the squats, and it's happening now in the bench.
And he's just slowly opening that door, isn't he?
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish off. And he finished heavy on squats, but started faltering near the end, and now it's happening on bench as well.
Oh, Buckland from Norway, 177.5.
Now Buckland got his first opening squat, missed his next 2. Has he adjusted for the bench press?
Well, he opened at 170, and it was a really good, convincing opening lift as well. Now looking for 177.5. He wants this one to be convincing as well.
Nicely done.
And it is. Good second lift.
back on track. Now,
Starting to find his way back now.
187.5 is previous personal best. Again, I'm not sure if that's going to be in reach today. He's expended a lot, though, in squats.
He's used a lot of energy in those squats. Madi Christensen now 190.
187.5 was definitely work. I think the 190 was a good jump.
Yeah, I think the 2.5 kilos was a smart move.
For an opener, his opener moved pretty slow and laborious.
$190. It's a big bench.
I think he might have jumped that.
Yeah, he's either timed it really, really well.
Oh, yeah.
So head referee says he got it, so he's the one that makes the call. He timed that perfectly.
So good, he was a stitch before it. That's perfect timing, sir.
Taylor Atwood, 190.
He's hit 193. We're treading real close to his previous best.
And this is where, for him, for Taylor, this is really important. I mean, he gave himself a nice lead with the squat. He wants to maintain that lead with the bench. Taking too big a jumps. You get caught up in trying to build here.
You see he's taking this one a lot more seriously and took his opener. And that's what veterans do at the top. You don't want to open so heavy that's going to require a major conversation with yourself, a lot of hyping up. Self lift off.
Moved well.
Very well.
Very, very well. Gets it on the board. That moved very quickly. Job well done there.
Yep. Now 293 was his previous personal best. I think he only needs 2.5 kilo and doesn't need to go for a personal best. I think just a stitch under half a kilo winner's fine.
I mean, I think there's a 195 in the tank, but I really think he should be playing it safe here. That extra 2.5 kilos can make all the difference in the end.
Don't grind for 2.5 kilos.
That's not worth the energy. So Citra from Australia, 152.5. And he's going to have to put in the work, but just that right side got a little bit too hard to handle for him.
Yeah, as soon as that collapsed on him, it was all over.
He put in a good effort with that one, though. Sergey Negara retaking 162.5.
Now, that was difficult.
Yeah, I think if he tightens things up a little bit, it just seemed to be a lot more body movement than there usually is in his lifting.
And tension is a huge... When you're tense and tight, the generation of force is a lot smoother and easier.
Yeah, you want everything going to the bar, so it's a case if he can tighten up, we'll see.
Could be a big factor.
It's going to be a big ask for him, though.
Yeah, 2.5 kilo winner's personal best.
He did. He fixed it. And let's have a look at the replay and see what the difference is here.
That moves so quickly.
And
way tighter. Oh, yeah, well.
Big difference in tightness there. You can see the leg drive straight into the bar.
That's it. Instead of the leg drive jockeying his hips around, the leg drive went right into the bar.
All the force into the bar. Well done. Quentin Lee from Singapore. $167.5.
Now he's pacing himself to possibly unseat Yakov in terms of total. because
Well,
Yakov keeps missing and he keeps
well,
hitting.
well, Yakov needs to start looking behind because Dunn and Lee are just both sitting there, waiting for their moment.
Nicely
Nice
done.
lift.
6 for 6.
Not bad way to
People
go at all.
People better start worrying.
Yeah, it's starting to pay. It's time to pay attention.
Yep.
Chris Kennedy from New Zealand, 170. And it's just a little too much today.
Yeah.
Certainly gave it a good effort.
Still walking away with a 5 kilo personal best, so it's
Not a bad way to
there.
go. Constantine Dunham, 172.5. Now he is currently in that position, just getting ready to say, you know what? If you kick that door open anymore, Yakov, I'm coming through.
Here it is. Yakov is starting high with his openers in terms of weight, but faltering in the second and thirds. Dunham and Lee are just piecing together these attempts successfully, one after another. The gap's closing. By the time they enter deads, there might not be a gap or any buffer.
172.5. This will be a monstrous personal best for him.
Oh, he is a monster. Whoa.
And he is strong.
Listen, Team Kazakhstan, look behind you. You got a couple monsters coming at you.
And if you see a Russian stand up from the bench and do a fist pump, you know he's coming after you.
Yeah, they broke the poker face and celebrated. That means a lot. That's a lot of positive momentum.
So
I like to see
pressure's
it.
on Yakov from Kazakhstan now.
Wasn't quite the flair that Atwood had, but
Not quite.
that was big for them. And here he is. He knows now. Look at how more serious he's taking
all
it.
of a sudden things get serious for him. He's just seen
Uh-oh.
the Russian chasing him down.
Yep. He's got 2 problems over both shoulders.
And I thought for a second he was going to drive
Same.
through that.
Same, but again, moving forward with your opener.
Letting them in.
The Sharks smell blood, and now they're circling.
They're starting to circle. Alexander Eriksson, 175 from Sweden.
2.5 kilo jump. I think it's appropriate. 172.5 was work. Might have been the top end.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very, very reasonable suggestion. 172.5.
I
for
love
2.5 kilos.
how the home crowd gets behind their lifters. For this 2.5 kilo, he's going to fight. He's a whole lot more serious for this third attempt than he was the second. Sometimes that makes all the difference. Sweden has taken some wins as well as some shocking upsets like Eddie Berglund bombing out on bench. Erikson does not want to let them down.
Oh, he's going to give it everything.
Wow! And he doesn't. Great fight. There you go. And that's where the home crowd gets behind you and you feed that energy into the bar.
Yeah, it can certainly make a difference.
Nicely done.
Madi Christensen. Oh, sorry, Buckland's first at 182.5.
5 kilos, and 5 kilos he's going to need.
Yep, every kilo counts here for him.
Definitely. He's hit 5 kilo heavier than this previously, but previously doesn't matter on this day. You have to take what's there. I think he's righted the ship, so to speak, in starting to tighten up on that attempt selection. He's a little overly ambitious in squats, a little more on point for bench. There you go.
Yeah, nicely done.
So he's got some much better momentum going into
yeah,
deadlifts.
he's picked up a little bit of momentum now. He's feeling a bit more positive. His mood will lift. So Madi Christensen now 192.5. Just under his personal best.
Could be the gold medal in bench press. Oh, looks good.
Gets it there. What do the referees say?
Nope.
Yeah, I thought he might get the reds there.
Did his butt come up?
Yeah, and I think there was some elbow lockout issue as well.
Yeah, his butt came up for sure. Yeah. His the coach didn't even bother protesting. They see him. You can see there the butt came up.
Taylor Atwood 195.
Obviously, in the short range, this will net him the golden bench. But in the long range, 5 more kilo to a total that is becoming epic and historic like nothing we've ever seen.
Well, this is just going to stick the nail in a little bit further. You know,
Yeah,
his personal best was 193. We thought he might go 192.5. He's gone to 195.
I mean, to be quite honest, he could lose this out. It's not the 5 kilos that he's hustling and needs. I just am wondering how much you'd expend if he doesn't hit it. You don't want to empty the tank for that extra 2.5 kilo.
Well done.
Doesn't
Very
need to,
nicely done. There was no emptying of the tank there.
no empty the tank there.
That tank is still full.
That's scary. There's his dad. Wow. So
He's got some room left in the tank there.
and he'll come out, shake all the judges' hands because it's a class act.
Well, it's heating up. I mean, the bench, everyone did their jobs, got their jobs done. Yeah, the big upset here is looking at Yakov. Yakov was sitting in a solid position at the start of this, looking down the barrel of a bronze medal. Now he's got his back against the wall. Dunham from Russia is smelling blood and thinking, you know what, I can get this. And Dunham can pull.
Dunham can pull. Yeah, and Lee also can pull and is right there. You can't afford to miss. It's nice to open heavy, but it's not where you start. It's where you end. And Yakov somewhat dropping the ball here.
Yeah, so the pressure's going to be on the deadlift, as it always does. It comes down to those last pulls. And, of course, it's, Buckland from Norway, this is his thing. Deadlift, this is where he rolls.
Speaking of the deadlift, as dominant as Atwood is in the squat, gold medal bench, Backlund is a heavy favorite to take the gold medal. He not only is the greatest 74-kilo deadlifter of all time, he's moved up a weight class and taken the world record. Phenomenal deadlifter. How much can he load the bar? Certainly, he's going to be defending silver. Could he make a play for gold?
Well, get back here, 8 minutes and 49 seconds, and find out when the action unfolds right here in Helsingborg, Sweden. Welcome back to Helsingborg, and we're about to get the deadlift party started. What do you think? Has Atwood put enough on the board to put it out of reach now?
At this point, as long as he hits his opener and disaster doesn't strike. Say that with bated breath. We've seen crazy things.
Well, we've seen crazy things before. So that opener, this opener is probably the most important opener of his career.
The most important opener of his career. Also important to note, after the squat event in which Backlet had lost a little ground, he upped his opener in the deadlift. Hopefully, he didn't up it a little too much.
Well, we've seen it happen before, and of course Yakov and came in here looking down the barrel of a bronze medal. Now he's just trying to fight off Dunham and Lee, who are just sitting in the ranks going, open the door a little bit more, mate, and we'll come on through.
Yeah, the way, if history is the best indicator of the future, he hit his openers and then started faltering. You can't do that in the deadlifts. You can't do that at this level. Dunham and Lee are nipping right on his heels, and Dunham, Lee, and Yakov are in the midst of a three-way battle. There's a bottleneck to hop onto the podium. It's going to be a battle right down to the last deadlift.
And you could see Dunham when he got off that last bench. And, we don't often see the Russian athletes give a fist pump and a bit of a celebration, but he got off that last bench, and you could tell he could just smell something.
That's trouble.
Yeah.
That's trouble, my friend. When the Russians start celebrating while leaving the platform, they feel the positive momentum. They see the tide turning. Has it turned enough? We're about to find out.
His adrenaline's pumping. His mood's lifted. He can smell something happening. Is it going to increase his deadlift? And we know that Constantine can pull a good deadlift. Has he got enough in him? We'll see. We're about to kick off in about 2 seconds. Vikas from India with 210. We're about to find out. The deadlift party is getting underway, and your opening lift is your invitation. And that's a good opener right there.
Yeah, as soon as you hit your opener, your total's assured. It's now official. You can no longer bomb out of the competition. Start making your jumps.
Jing, Hong, Feng, Chinese Taipei looking for 230. And he just amazed us all with his final bench press. He'd missed his 172.5 twice and honestly didn't look like getting it. Changed his shoes and bam, it's on the board.
Hey, look, if he's a showman and wanted to get recognized, he did.
Well, we all know who he is now.
Stood out now, yeah.
Gets it to the top. How was the lockout?
I don't like the knees.
He got one red for the knees there.
It's his right knee. Sometimes you wear knee sleeves to try to cover up if the knees are soft.
Couldn't quite lock that right one properly. Alex Ochoa from Ecuador, 230. And looks like a good lift. So Shiva Chorale from Lebanon now, an Uplift sponsored athlete. Looking to get 230 on the board. Been with Uplift from day one. And that looks like a good opener. It is 3 white lights. So Bain Langley now from Canada, 252.5.
10 kilo below his personal best. He must have had some great deadlift training, because you're going to move probably a lot more than that over the course of 3 attempts. Let's see how this moves for him in terms of an indicator what he's bringing to the deadlift event. Wow.
Well, it moved well.
Looks like he's got more than 10 kilo in the tank.
Yeah, plenty of room to move there. Jorge Perez from Spain, 260.
He's got a fair deadlift on him in terms of his personal best, 281, which should indicate a record of some sort, likely a national. 21 kilo below that, plenty of room. I'm expecting this to fly. That is a very tight grip, or it's spacing in terms of his feet.
The close foot position
Actually,
works
they're a little
well. Yeah, he's a little askew. So the close foot position works very, very well with force distribution.
Yeah, it's a closer footprint.
Martin Reedy from Ireland, 262 and a half. He's having a great day. Big breath in. And gets to the top for an invitation to the party.
Almost a stark contrast to the previous lifter, much wider.
Much wider. Chris Wong, Great Britain, 265.
He's pulled 287.5, well below that. This should fly.
And it does that. It really flew.
Looking into the crowd, am I crazy or is that Kimberly Wofford off to the left side?
I'd love to support you there, but my eyesight isn't that good, I'm afraid. You've forgotten I'm much more of a master than you are.
She is competing today. That is Kimberly Wofford, the greatest 72 kilo of all time, but I don't think she realizes we got her on the big screen
she
as
doesn't
well.
realize she's on the camera there.
Competing today, she wants her title back. It's a great showdown. You guys do not want to miss it.
Yiheng Wu, Chinese Taipei, 275 and a half. Sorry, 275.
Nicely done.
And he gives the bar a nice little tap there. And he gets 2 red lights.
Oh, let's take a look at that. What happened there? I didn't see any infractions.
Not quite entirely sure what it was for.
Oh, judge looked back, told the jury, and I missed it because I was looking at the replay. My eyes are all over.
Vikas from India, 225.
Okay, so that was actually a good lift.
It was
I didn't
actually
think
a good
I
lift.
saw
Yeah, they
infraction.
changed it over. It's quite possibly a wrong button press.
Yeah. That is work.
Work beyond belief. He couldn't quite get it moving there. Well, his opening lift looked quite good.
15 kilo.
It's a big jump when you're starting to get tired. Jing, Hong, Feng, Chinese Taipei, 240. opened at 230. Has the best lift at 260. And just doesn't want to shift. He burned up a lot of energy on those bench presses earlier.
He sure did. And the cortisol levels had to have been running high, and the stress levels takes a lot out of you.
Alex Ochoa, Ecuador, 250.
Alex looking to be the first lifter to put something on the board in the second round. And this is a 20-kilo jump. It's a decent size and only 5 kilo below his personal best.
Yeah, that's a fairly solid jump from 230 to 250.
For a guy like Chell Buckland, 20 kilo, it's decent, but when you're in a 300 kilo range, not as impactful. It's all percentages. Well, looks like he handled it. Certainly slowed quite a bit. Oh, he's limping.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that one agreed too much with him.
And this is where the big jumps, and I've felt it, I've tested the waters, how big of a jump I could take. If it's too big and the system isn't turned on yet, that's how you can get little nags and
injuries. Take
injuries.
its toll. Shiva Chorale from Lebanon now 250.
Also a 20-kilo jump, mirroring the previous lifter, 230 to 250. Let's see how he handles it. Slow and steady.
A lot of work to the lockout. He gets it there.
Yep. Slow and steady. It's got to be a much smaller jump now.
Gets it on the board, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of room there now, is there? Bain Langley from Canada, 265.
12.5 kilo jump. It's still a 2.5 kilo personal best. Now, 252.5, we both said absolutely flew. I don't think 12.5 kilos is going to break the bank, despite it being a personal best.
Yeah, no, I think there's plenty of room in the tank.
Depending how it moves, though, we'll see just how big of a jump he wants to take for his third.
And that
pretty
one
good,
moved
yeah.
pretty well as well.
Now that's a little more of a second where you have room.
Yeah, it's still, it's a nice second lift. There's still some room to move.
Some of these seconds are moving a little closer to thirds, and the room doesn't look very much.
Been a couple there that have been very close. Martin Reedy, 270 from Ireland. Big J in his corner. Gets at the top well. Still a few kilos in the tank.
7.5 kilo jump, and he handles it.
Jorge Perez from Spain, 280.
20 kilos from his opener and 1 kilo from his personal best. We're getting to the top end. He's been powerlifting 10 years. You don't often see massive progress after a decade, so we'll see if this is going to move like a second attempt, like Bain Langley's, or move like a third attempt.
Moved quite well.
Surprisingly well.
He's still got a little bit of room in the tank there.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be a lot more of a struggle. Pleasantly surprised.
Chris Wong, 285.
Another 20 kilo jump, 2.5 kilo below his personal best. Chris has been pretty on point with his attempt selection thus far.
Yeah, let's hope that they've still got them on point.
Hits it. It's
Moved
work.
well.
Quick note. So Backlund was at 305, changed his deadlift opener to 310, and now has changed it once again to 300. We're all over the place with these opening.
Yeah, just trying to figure out where he wants to start.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in the warm-up room. That's not overly a good indicator.
Wu from Chinese Taipei for 290.
$15-kilo jump, 5 kilo below his personal best. Nicely done.
Vikas from India, 225. So came out for this on his second, and didn't really want to play the game.
It didn't move a whole heck of a lot either, but we have seen big turnarounds. A little more focus, a
We
little more
certainly have
intensity.
seen that. Let's hope we can get this one on the board. Not today. There's just nothing left in the tank. Feng from Chinese Taipei now, 240. And speaking of people we've seen do big turnarounds, he's one of them.
Let's see if he could do the trick again.
I thought he might have changed his shoes again. And just nothing left in the tank. He's used up so much energy on that bench.
He did avert disaster, finishes with a total.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a bit of a cramp there too. You can see him just rubbing at his thigh there. Shiva Chorale, Lebanon, 255. It's going to be a tough lift. You have to work hard for the 250. Sponsored by Uplift. He's been training with them since the very beginning. It's going to be a lot of work. He's got it moving. It's still moving. It's still going. Can he lock it?
Oh,
He's at a stopping point. It's still going a little bit.
I can't believe he's still
He's
pulling
still
it.
going. It's still moving.
That is a monumental effort. I'll give him that. Is it
Did he
tidy
get the
enough?
lock? He
It's
did.
good.
Wow, what an amazing effort.
Have you ever seen anybody fight for
That
5 kilo like that?
Was absolutely unbelievable.
He's not going out back and be like, I don't even think I had another 2.5 kilo in me.
I can't believe he kept that moving. That was phenomenal.
Talk about hard. Look at his coach in the background.
What a fight.
Almost willing him. Look at his coach just
The
losing
coach
his
is going
mind
crazy.
on the side. Can't blame him. Quite the show.
Wow.
Look at that.
What an amazing effort.
His coach just giving it to him.
His
from
coach
the
just
side.
became more famous than the athlete.
Oh, you need a cheering section like that.
Alex Ochoa from Ecuador now 260. Man, slow. He didn't have a look on the look on his face said it all when he started pulling that.
I tell you what, I might sign up for Uplift if I get a coach who cares about me quite that much. I mean, my father wouldn't get behind me that hard. That's a, whew.
Bain Langley, 272 and a half.
I think anything's possible if that happens. Now 7.5 kilo jump, and it is his previous best coming into this competition is 262.5. We're well beyond that already. Pacing himself well. Hits this, he's also got a personal best total. 265 moved really well. I think 7.5 kilo shouldn't break the bank. Ben finishing the day, not a hair out of place.
Yeah, his hair is definitely on point.
Me and you respect that. Wow, look at that. Nicely done. Might have had maybe 2.5 more.
Yeah, that was a good finishing lift, that one.
There we go. Finishes personal best dead, personal best total.
That's where you want to finish.
Yep.
Martin Reedy from Ireland, 275. Be a nice little personal best to take home.
Now, judging by his previous personal best being 273, it's a record of some sort. If it's a national record, then that means this.
That'll be the Irish national record.
Yeah, that means this is a national record. Let's see if he could make a little Irish history.
Has he got the luck of the Irish on his side today?
And can he fight for it? Let's throw some more Irish cliches we've been using all week.
Well, we've got to see what we can get. We're going to get them when we can. Jay would be disappointed if we didn't.
That's right. Oh,
moved well.
That's a pretty solid lift.
Yeah, he's going to hang around there for a while. Gives a knock to his coach.
Yep, that's pretty solid lift. That's well done.
Looks over to his coach. He goes, "Yeah, that good enough?"
Yeah.
Hey, don't drink my beer, Jay.
It's like, listen, you got the down command. Let's take it while we can.
Jorge Perez from Spain, 290.
10 kilo jump, again, his previous best, 281.
Yeah, big personal best, this one.
Looks like a national record, so that means this could be a national record back home in Spain. Like to see records fall.
You know, that's a great thing about powerlifting. You never know what these guys are here trying to put on the board. You feel this big, they're not all chasing a gold medal. They're chasing their individual goals, national records, personal bests.
Some of these have historical meaning behind them back home. Could he make history?
Pops that head up. Ooh, it just didn't want to shift. Chris Wong, Great Britain, 290.
2.5 kilo jump, or sorry, 5 kilo jump, 2.5 kilo personal best. Wong has been pacing himself well. He's only missed one lift. He's on the bench. He should have some gas in the tank for this.
Been moving well all day. And that one was just a little bit of a stretch for him.
Still has a personal best total.
And that's a nice way to finish at the World Championships. Wu from Chinese Taipei now 297.5.
7.5 kilo jump. 2.5 kilo personal best, looking to go 3 for 3. And this is a very big deadlift in the 74 kilo class.
It certainly is, 297.5.
It would have made him competitive in the flight 2.
Gets it moving well, but just can't get it up there.
Not today.
Got it moving well off the floor, but then it just slowed right down.
Yeah, he kind of got pulled out of position right there. No recovery.
Madi Christensen from Denmark, 217.5.
Moving right into flight 2, so these are openers again. And we do have some, even though they're openers, we have some interesting openers. Obviously, Atwood wants to secure his win with his opener. And because Backlund has moved this opener already 2 to 3 times, it makes you wonder.
Yeah, he's already made 2 changes to his opener.
Want to see how it moves. We see it moved up. We've seen it move down.
So 217.5.
Nicely done.
Great opening lift.
Another interesting opener will be Yakov, who's opened heavy and then not really built much off of his openers in the previous 2 events. Interesting to see if his opener moves like an opener should, and if he's got room to grow because he's facing stiff opposition, nipping on his heels.
Well, Alexander Erikson, 260. Well below his personal best. Got the crowd behind him.
Not having a banner day, so it's good he's opening light. I like it.
Gets that one on the board very, very quickly.
Yeah.
No backing around with that.
Don't take chances. If you feel like, you know what, it's not the greatest day, don't take chances. Get on the board.
Chris Kennedy, New Zealand, 265. He's been strong today.
5 kilo away from his personal best. Competing 2 years, progress comes quick. Nicely done.
Yeah, it's a nice opener. He's been strong all day today. Quentin Lee Singapore, 270.
Quentin Lee and Dunham both packing on quite the kilos, rarely missing either one of them, although Dunham has quite a bit bigger deadlift and going to make a big move here.
Yeah, Constantine Dunham is a very, very strong puller.
Yeah, second highest actually in a very competitive 74 kilo field. And this is where Yakov's really going to feel the pressure.
No problem there.
Very nice.
Leonardo Sasitra from Australia, 270.
Now, we just seen what 270 flew like for Lee. Yakov is opening the same. We will be able to compare the two.
Taking his time. That was quick.
No doubt about that. 3 white lights.
That was a fast lifter, that one. Yakov for 270 now.
Now we really want to see if this moves like an opener should, like Lee's did. He handled 270 nice and smooth. Or is this going to be work and we really don't have a whole lot of room to grow?
It wasn't super fast.
No. And I think if you're from Singapore, it's looking encouraging.
Sergey Negara from Russia now, 275.
Negara has pulled 290. 275 should move. It should move well. The Russians got a couple solid lifters here at the top of the heap in a very competitive 74-kilo class. And they're picking up a lot of team points for Russia in the open.
Well, this one will certainly help. 275.
Nicely done.
Yeah, very nicely done. Gets the 3 white lights. Taylor Atwood, 287.5. Probably one of the most important opening deadlifts of his career.
This alone will put him at a world record total and likely out of reach for everybody else in the field. A historic day for Atwood.
Not a bad way to open your deadlifts, though, is it, with a world record total?
He hasn't missed a single lift. I don't expect it to start now. His total is so high, he could threaten those a weight class up with it. There's his father, always in his corner, no matter where the competitions are held.
287.5 will give him the world total record at 765.5. It'll solidify and open that gap so much. Put it out of reach. And it moved fast, just like everything else he's done today.
Now his competition is really with the rest of the field if he's going to be champion of champions, because he is in the running of winning the best lifter award.
Yeah, it'll come right down to half a point. Constantine Dunham now 287.5.
If this moves well, I honestly believe Dunham is in an excellent position to end up on the podium.
He needs a fast-moving opening lift here.
He's pulled 297.5, 23 years old. I'm sure he's made progress since then. And he's pacing himself very well. Oh,
That moved very well.
wow.
Like a rocket.
And he will pull after Lee and Yakov, meaning he can see what he needs to pull to hop on the podium, take the bronze.
He is going to be in the perfect position. So Buchan now 300 on the bar.
It's an interesting opener because we've seen his opener jockeyed around several times. I don't know if that's because the way he's felt throughout the day has been up and down. It looked like it based off of the performance. He is a phenomenal deadlifter, several-time world record breaker. Let's see how this moves.
Well, never looked in doubt.
No, never looked him down. Did it look like an opener?
Well, look, the way he lifts, he's not a super fast, explosive lifter.
Yeah.
So it probably didn't look anything different than any of his other
You're
opening
right.
lifts in the past.
And patience off the floor, typical
And the
sumo.
question you've got to ask him, though, is do you change your plan now? Atwood, you look at Atwood's total and you think, okay, is it out of reach?
It's out of reach.
I can't
It's
pull for
gotta
that.
be,
So
yeah.
what's my plan now? All right, I'm going to go for gold in the deadlift. Do I have enough in the tank to go for a world record in the deadlift and make my day complete?
Well, I tell you what, Dunham, who's getting a little greedy here, is actually eyeing the silver medal of Beckland's. And if Beckland misses, Dunham, whose opener looked phenomenal,
Well, he's
he could
coming
do
in
it.
everywhere, isn't he?
He could do it.
And Madi Christensen with a great 227.5.
Yeah, Atwood is really in a league of his own, and that's fine. Beckland now has to start looking over his shoulder, because not only is Dunham telling himself, you know what, I think I could get on the podium for bronze. After the openers, he's like, you know what, I think I can swap the bronze for a silver.
Just sitting in the pocket there, isn't he? And here comes Alexander Erikson, 272.5.
12.5 kilo jump, 260 moved. He's pulled more than this previously. Oh, it moved well.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, he's moving better and better now.
Yakov now. Opening lift was not convincing.
No, and he's had a much smaller jump, 7.5 kilo. He really starts heavy with his opener and then loses steam from there. The problem is when you start heavy and all 6 of your previous lifts coming into the deadlift event are heavy, by the time you get there, it's hard to reverse the trend because now you're tired. And he started off in bronze medal position and has now fell back to 5th. He may fall further if he's not careful, because now Alexander Erikson is looking to unseat him in that position.
Oh, that's tough. That is a hard second lift. There is not much room to move there.
It's 3 whites, but we're definitely nearing the end.
Chris Kennedy, New Zealand, 277.5.
It's a decent jump, and it's a decent personal best, 7.5 kilo personal best. Opener moved well, and he's definitely a strong lad.
He's been strong all day. It's tough.
That was definitely
Gets
work.
it there though. Yeah, that was a lot of work.
There won't be a whole heck of a lot more in the tank.
So Sergey now. Sergey Negara from Russia, 285.
10 kilo jump, 5 kilos below his personal best. And the veteran looking to close the show with a couple more big deads. He can cover some ground.
Yeah, it's surprising how much ground you can make up if you're a really quality deadlifter.
You just got to pace yourself. The deads taxes the nervous system. If all 3 are heavy, your last dead is not going to be as big as you would hope.
So one to the top and locks it out.
Moved just like his opener.
Nicely done. So Quentin Lee from Singapore now 287.5, and he's eyeing off some position changes as well.
When he hits this, he's temporarily moved himself in the bronze medal position. He's going to continue that strategy, and then if anyone ahead misses, he's on the podium. It's logic. It's a path. He's got to do his part.
It's all about following your plan and just waiting for an opportunity.
When you're in his position, yep, pretty much the best you can hope for.
And very nice, and he's got a little bit left in the tank to add on a couple of extra kilos if he needs it.
I tell you what, while Dunham is now positioning himself with the same strategy, eyeing Beckland's silver, he's got to look behind himself at Lee.
Yeah, you're going to have eyes in the back of your head as well in this game. So Leonardo Sacitra from Australia now 287.5. Big Ray in his corner from Penrith, New South Wales. Been a very, very busy coach this last 2 weeks.
There's Big Ray right there.
Yeah, great coach, great guy.
How do you think that he got his nickname?
He's a prison officer.
Oh, jeez. And keep me in line.
And people do, I imagine people do as they're told. And that one just a little bit too heavy today. You know what? The good thing, he made a decision there. He didn't waste a lot of energy trying to get that to move off the floor. He said, you know what? It's not moving. I'm going to go at the back, get some energy back in, get some fluids into me, and I'll be able to hit that when I need it. Constantine Dunham, 297.5, equal to his personal best.
And the game is on. He hits
and he
this.
Is smelling blood.
He hits this, temporarily moves himself ahead of Kale Backlund. He's threatening. Let's see how this moves.
Well, his opener moved like a rocket. And his second wasn't much different.
Uh-oh. Backlund's in trouble.
He's got the celebration mode happening. He can smell it.
Backlund's in trouble.
He can smell it.
It's
Taylor Atwood, let's add some more to that world record, shall we?
Well, he could do so because he's kind of in a league in his own right now, just running a clinic in a historical
3:02.5.
What he's doing now is fighting with every other champion that's going to win, and winning the Champion of the Champions award is now his new goal. He wants to be not just the best 74 kilo, but the best in the world regardless of weight class. Also has the best hair in powerlifting.
I don't know. He's got some challenges here in this one. And neither you or I are one of those challenges.
No, sir. Holy moly.
And it moved like lightning.
Pay attention, Brett Gibbs.
He's
Pay attention,
added
Russell
to the world
Voorhees.
record. He's opened that gap so far out.
David Wilson, Anatoly, whoever it is, if you want the best of the best.
You're going to have to bring your A game. Buckland from Norway now, 3:10.
This is a very important 310. Now, he just got bumped off a second into third. This 10 kilo, because he's deadlifting last, it'll help, but is he running out of steam? Dunham is on fire right now. Buckland is not.
Dunham can smell it.
He is full well capable, previously speaking. Today hasn't been unfolding the way he likes. How much does he have? He's not done yet.
He's still got some room there.
Not yet, young man, he says. Not yet, young man.
Still got some room.
He's not exactly overly confident leaving the platform, but you know, no matter how the day's shaking up, he does not want to leave with anything less than at least silver.
Well, he wants to make sure when he leaves here that he gave it everything he did. Madi Christensen, 235.
And Buckland, if temporarily, has the world record deadlift loaded. I expect if Dunham hits his third, he'll lower that and defend silver. If Dunham misses, we'll see a show for a world record, which is a nice way to cap off the deadlift event.
I'd like to look at the replay of that one. He shifted it fast and then
yeah, it was really fast past
decided, no, you know what?
I changed my mind.
I'm just not in the mood today.
You know what? I got an Uber waiting, and it's running up the hill. I got to go.
They have Uber here?
Inside joke about that.
Chris Kennedy from New Zealand, 285.
He'll finish off with an even 700 kilo total. And just a few years ago, 774 kilo gentleman hitting 700 kilo totals was almost unheard of. Now it'll get you in the top 10.
Yeah, and
it's a nice milestone.
It's a really nice personal best total for him too.
Yep.
His current total is already a personal best. This will give him an extra 30 kilos on his previous best total.
Fast gains.
And just stapled to the floor, that one.
Still a big personal best performance for him.
Leonardo Sasitra from Australia now, 287.5. Didn't want to shift on his second attempt at this. But now he's gone out, had a little bit of rest, a little bit of fluid. Let's see if he can get this one to move. Yeah, would have had some last minute talking from Ray.
And sometimes people get nicknames and they're ironic.
His is not ironic.
It's right to the point.
He is.
I respect that.
He is a walking nugget. And
Nugget.
but he's an all-round nice guy. That's a very Australian term.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say a walking fridge. I gotcha.
You know, he's a walking fridge as well. And Leonardo now just doesn't want to happen today. There's just nothing left in the tank.
Fair enough. Leave it on the platform. He's got a total.
Yeah, he gave it everything he had. Eriksson from Sweden, 290.
And this will temporarily move him into the top 5. It'd be nice in a field this strong to finish off in the top 5 for the home crowd.
Absolutely.
It's well above anything he's ever deadlifted before. He's gonna need the crowd. You see how serious he's taking this. 10 kilo personal best. That is a massive personal best. It's a big way to finish the day. He's gambling for them.
It's going to take everything he's got to fight this one.
Oh, whoa! Big effort.
And just not quite there. Gave it everything he had, though. Can walk away with his head held very high.
Yes, he never faltered. It wasn't the day he wanted, but he stuck in there, adjusted to the day, didn't bomb out, held his ground. That's what a mature lifter has to do.
Just waiting on a board change. So it should be Sergey Negara from Russia.
And let's see what he changed. Who's changing what?
So just a bit of a hold up. I think a change went in. We'll just see what happens there. So lifters can put in a change twice for their final deadlift, and they've got up until bar loaded is called. So if you can get that card to the board, to the desk before they call bar loaded, you can still change it.
We've only had 3 hits and a lot of misses, and this is why you see in the third attempts, anything can happen when these guys are pulling for podiums and what color of medal. I think Atwood just changed his, or do my eyes deceive me? It is ridiculous.
Yeah,
His
Atwood's
total,
gone to 312.5.
if he hits that, his total 790.5, which not long ago would have won him the gold in a weight class up.
So here comes Sergey Negara from Russia, 295.
He will finish 700 even for his total again. That's a nice milestone in the 74 kilo class.
Adds 5 kilos to his personal best total as well. That's a really nice way to finish a world championship if you can do that.
And when I mean nice milestone, I mean you are amongst the elite of the elite. He'd like to join that club. It'll also move him into 5th. Nice team points for Russia. Top 5 in the world.
And he's just got it moving, but it was just a bit too much. But he has been absolutely outstanding today. Quentin Lee from Singapore, 300 kilograms.
He's making a play for bronze. If he hits this and Dunham misses, he swaps spots with Dunham. And this is where Dunham is loading up to take Backlund's silver, but he's actually putting himself in danger if he misses to get bumped right off the podium. It's almost an all or nothing.
It's a very, very big call.
It's so dicey. Do you defend your bronze or do you risk your bronze for your silver? First, Lee needs to hit this. Otherwise, it's a moot point. Well, sort of, because then Yakov could always come rallying back.
That's true. Just coming from all directions.
Yeah. Danger
You need
is
eyes in the front, you need eyes behind, you need eyes in the side.
danger coming from all directions, and here's danger right now.
Well, it's a big personal best to pull 300.
He's been so on point.
And, you know, he got it moving well. I thought that was actually going to get up past his knees, but it was just a bit too much.
So one more lifter. You know Dunham and the Russians are watching.
So this makes it quite interesting now, because Dunham is now safe in that bronze medal position. Well,
No,
we'll wait for
Yakov is
Yakov to
about-
pull.
So if Yakov misses, Dunham's safe, and he's going full tilt at Backlund. If Dunham hits, it makes the Russians have to have that conversation. Do we take the bronze back and solidify it, or do we make a run at
They've
Backlund?
already had the conversation because they dropped the 307.5.
Oh, wow. That's
They're
one jump.
already
They had
having-
two jumps.
Yeah, they got two changes.
This is, see the strategizing.
They've already started having the conversation.
It's a very bold move, my friends. Very bold to try to take Backlund's silver.
Well, he got his second lift. Let's see if he can get his third. It's a big jump to 300.
Yakov has had such a tough day. Does he have the gas in the tank? Nope.
Not quite. So what
Oh,
does Dunham do now? His bronze medal is secure.
Yeah, he might as well make a run for the silver.
Well, it doesn't look like they're going to make a change. They're sticking for 307.
He weighed in slightly lighter, so he only needs to match Chael's total.
So they're playing the safe card there. They're going to put in enough to match, which is much safer than the 310, I think, given that this is a personal best as well.
Yeah, no,
And then
don't,
they just have to wait.
don't lift any more than you have to. He's going to do his part. It's 10 kilos over a second. The second moved well, but his second also equaled his personal best.
That's right. So it's a big lift.
Uncharted territory for this young man. He's already on the podium, which is phenomenal. If he could unseat a former world champion in Backlund.
And he's just 23 years of age. He's still in the juniors.
Sky's the limit. This could be a massive day for him. It already is. It could be even bigger.
Gets it moving. I just don't think he was able to lock that.
I'm not sure about that.
Not
No.
quite. He couldn't lock those knees.
And that's fair.
Boy,
yeah,
he
this-
gave that a big pull, though, didn't he?
You know, he's finishing top three. He's
He
finishing
has
with
the bronze, and he put the screws on.
Yep, he gave Backlund and Norwegians a bit of a scare.
He put the screws on them, that's for sure. Taylor Atwood now, he is going for a 790.5 total.
Look at
Massive, massive world record.
2 years ago in Minsk, Belarus, 795 won the 83 kilo world championship. 790.5 into 74. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. And this is Taylor Atwood's world. This is for the bigger picture, possible Best Lifter Award, Champion of Champions. Could he be the greatest power lifter walking the face of the earth today? He's certainly the best 74.
312.5.
Oh,
Luke
no!
Well.
Look at that smile.
And he
3
gets it
white
on the
lights
board.
and just a phenomenal performance. Gonna
Gets
shake the
that
hands of
one.
the judges.
Massive, massive world record right there.
It literally just a couple years ago, we would never have thought in a million years this was possible.
790.5.
Setting the powerlifting world on fire is Taylor Atwood right
He
now.
talked about bringing his A game. He really brought his A game today.
Beyond all expectations, Taylor Atwood. Now,
So Buckland has dropped to 312.5.
I think that was a strong bluff towards the Russians.
Absolutely, that was putting in a position so the Russians made a choice of what they were going to match his total. And right now, looking at 312.5, and he's a fraction lighter, so this will give him the gold medal in the deadlift. And he's a silver medalist, but Taylor Atwood is the new world champion.
Overall silver and a golden deads, a nice 1-2. Looks like one more medal before the day's over, and I think he just has.
Yeah, that should put one on the board.
Three
And
whites. Look at, I know he's not overly impressed with that performance. I know he's expecting more in terms of the kilos. However,
yeah,
even
you know what? And it doesn't always work out to plan. We know what powerlifting's like. Taylor Atwood set the benchmark right at the start with the squats. He opened up the gap so wide throughout the bench in that first deadlift that he was untouchable. Buckland had to change his plan and do something a little bit different. But wow, Dunham from Russia, a junior lifter in the opens, comes out of nowhere, puts the screws on Buckland, puts the pressure on him, ends up with a bronze, almost taking a silver medal. What an amazing outcome.
It is just a phenomenal show. Yeah, Atwood is at the point where he might even podium, and most certainly I think he would be in 83 kilo class. So
he would definitely podium in the 83s, I think. But
Buckland, in terms of that, all right, you can concede that. Still has a phenomenal day. Silver medal, gold in the deadlift, and Dunham, a star has emerged from Russia.
Yeah, I'll be looking a really close eye on Dunham in the next few years. He's 23 years of age, and he's so close in there. He's put the screws on. You give him 3 years' time, he's going to be challenging Atwood for that gold medal as well. But Taylor Atwood, what a performance.
I think we're going to be talking about this performance years to come. Everybody's a buzz on it, and all the other lifters now. If you want that best lifter award, champions award, you better raise your game.
Yeah, you're really going to have to. Well, don't go away. We'll have the medal ceremony very shortly, and then 1 p.m. local time, we will have even more action here in Helsingborg, Sweden.
All of you.